anybody at the highest level, regardless of what they do, so sport, becoming a surgeon, playing the violin, whatever it is, the really high achievers in any one of those things, they had meaningful relationships.
Yeah. Welcome to the CrossFit by Design podcast. This is episode number 5. How you going?
Good. Coming to you live from home.
Home with the open fire here,
Yeah.
which you can't see. So
And the dog, so apologies if you hear her.
cool. All right, so today wanted to talk about community, and this is a topic, especially in the CrossFit circles, that gets a lot of airtime in terms of community being one of the main reasons people continue to do CrossFit. And it's so important, or a lot of people say that it's important. So wanted to talk a bit about that and how it applies not only to CrossFit but just in life in general. So first of all, what is community? How would you define what community is in talking about it?
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a look at the definition of community by just standard dictionary definition.
Yeah.
And it's basically a group of people that share a certain attitude or share common interests.
Okay.
And I think that's a pretty good definition of the CrossFit community anyway. Like, we, especially at CrossFit by Design, we share the attitude of the relentless pursuit of progress. And we're just a group of people striving to be better than we were yesterday. And from that grows quite a positive environment or community, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we know what the community is, and we know that it's a big part of CrossFit in particular, when we look at sort of a person as a whole, I guess the goal with CrossFit is to make people healthy in sort of all aspects of their life. And so if we're taking a holistic approach, we know that community being such a crucial part of the human, I guess, health spectrum. How does community actually make you healthy? What are the benefits of community? Because I know there are some people out there who either don't enjoy community, or they don't have a community, they don't see a need to be a part of one. So what is it about community that, I guess, makes us healthy?
Well, it's the shared experience, isn't it? Like my background being ex-military, the shared experience that I had through not the best times, that's what's memorable, and that's what forges your attitude towards adversity. And it's the people you go through that with and the growth that you experience with those people along the way that makes you who you are. So, it's not necessarily, at CrossFit we're not sitting in a dirt hole for months at a time, but it's we're going through adversity and helping each other grow through that adversity. And there was a study done, and it was published in Ben Bergeron's book, Chasing Excellence.
Yep.
Yeah, he talked about, anybody at the highest level, regardless of what they do, so sport, becoming a surgeon, playing the violin, whatever it is, the really high achievers in any one of those things, they had meaningful relationships.
Yep.
So it's a massive factor no matter what you do. And it can be, you could be the guy who goes out to his shed and just kind of grinds it out. You go, and good for you, man, but you're definitely leaving something on the table. There's something to be said if at every level, no matter what you're doing, the highest achievers prioritize the development of relationships.
Yeah. And it seems like it's not only is it important for the development of whatever you're pursuing, whether it be as an athlete or not, it also seems to be one of the things that makes the most difference. We like to think of eating clean, working out hard, and doing all the things that we just sort of see as easy ones to do, and we relate them quite quickly with being successful. But I would say the community is one of the things that has the biggest impact towards our success in life, whatever that chooses, whatever we choose that to be.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's because it can be seen as like a soft skill. So nutrition, working out, those are very tangible things. I shifted more weight today than I did yesterday, tick in the box. nutrition, I monitor my nutrition and it's obvious to see if I'm nailing that or not. And relationships, it can seem like this airy-fairy, unimportant thing, and I think it's people just underestimating it.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of people, we mentioned earlier, that some people would not necessarily enjoy being around other people, or if they say they're not people person, they're not people person. So what would you say to someone who comes up and says, look, I understand that you've got your little club and that's all cool and you enjoy that, but I just don't enjoy being around people that much. I'd rather just be on my own. What would you say to someone like that?
Well, I'd try and come back to why a community makes you healthy. And there's a saying, like I've heard it a lot in business, it's if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And just really try and break down, like, okay, why don't you want, like, and this is if they came to me as a coach, they're walking in, they're like, hey, I heard a lot about this community stuff, but I just not a fan. And I had a chance to talk to them one-on-one. That would be the kind of thing I would say. I'd be like, hey, well, why don't you come in, we'll do a one-on-one. And even if you start out, your community doesn't have to be 50 people. You can start out with just one person. So you could just start out with a coach, somebody who's just giving you some feedback, and you can kind of grow from there. I think it would be a matter of just taking small steps. I mean, I don't pretend to be a clinical psychologist either. There could be a much deeper reason for, and it could be a very real fear of theirs.
But we've seen, especially in the people who come to CrossFit by Design, where when they start out, they're maybe a bit timid and scared of doing a whole group class, and they sort of say, maybe let's do one-on-ones, or which class time has the least members. But by the end of it, they're just, where are the people at now? Now I want to have the biggest group because they enjoy being around people.
Yeah, I think it's they just don't know, or they have something in their mind how they think it's going to be. And maybe they watch the CrossFit Games or something like that, and there's just massive amounts of crowd just staring at these people working out, and it's just, well, I don't know about that as my community. And it's like, no, it's just a supportive environment full of people helping you achieve your goals. That's it.
Yeah, and I think I don't have a military background, but from an IT perspective, a lot of the people who got into IT got into it because they wanted to be alone in the dungeon working on computers by themselves, and therefore wouldn't have to get a job where they needed to interact with other people. But no matter what avenue of life or career or passion you pursue, you'll always need other people to pursue that further, whether you need a support team or people around you to achieve really anything. You're not going to go anywhere, because you can, sure, if you want to be off on your own, that's fine, but in order to fully achieve the dreams and goals that you have in your life, you're going to need people around you to support you. And like, what are some of the things that it actually looks like with community? We've been talking about it at a bit high level. What are some of the practical things that it actually looks like in the gym, outside the gym? What does it look like to be supported by a community?
Well, it can be something as simple as feedback. So helping somebody with their movement, like that's it. Or like just a simple therapy session could be just going in, having a conversation that has nothing to do with working out, and just having it as, this is the place that I go to where I can just be me, and I'm not judged. And I think that's the best thing about it. It's like, we don't pretend to have this complicated process when it comes to community. It's not this magic formula. It's just people who care. Yeah.
Cool. I reckon that's a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, cool, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.